Looking back over my life, I think that my entire faith story has been a gradual unfolding of God's grace and gifts to me. The first great gift was that I was born into a young, loving, Dutch immigrant, Christian Reformed family. This upbringing gave me a sense of God's love and a sense of my responsibility to respond to it with my life. John, my husband, came from a similar background, but here in Southern Ontario. We were married in 1973, and within a year of that, we moved to Bangladesh to develop an agricultural extension program. That was a wonderful time. It was another gift from God. We were there 3 years. The work was exciting. It was worthwhile. We learned so much. We adopted our first 2 daughters. We realized that there was nothing in that solid, reformed theology in which we had grown up that would explain the oppression, the poverty, the suffering that we encountered there. It was as though there was a big hole right in the middle of everything that we'd been taught about God, about being Christian, about our world. When we returned from Bangladesh, we moved to Toronto. There, John set up a worker co-op that provided housing mostly for co-ops or for non-profit organizations. I worked for the Jesuit Center for Social Faith and Justice, and through the social justice organizations with which we were involved, we received another gift that has stayed with us. It's there that we learned liberation theology. Liberation theology did the social analysis that could explain why people are poor. It shaped our choice of work. It shaped our choice to live and to work within co-ops. It determined our choice to welcome, off and on for years, refugees into our home. And it shaped our decision to not locate ourselves within communities of wealth. So when we moved to Kitchener-Waterloo, we were active at First Mennonite in Kitchener for about 10 years. In some ways, those were hard years. The years our daughters, as teenagers, tried to cope with and reacted against their early years of neglect and abuse and abandonment. Those were also the years we began raising some of our grandchildren. And those were the years I began to need a fuller, more generous way to understand God. I needed a God who could love and mourn and cherish my hurt daughters and grandchildren with me. And images of only a loving Father, God, were not enough. So God gave me another great gift to help me understand. At Conrad Grebel and at St. Jerome's, I took courses exploring ways that feminist Christians were interpreting the Bible, understanding the way we create imagery, reinterpreting Christian history. It was immensely liberating for me, and it enabled me to continue to trust God, who I knew loved and could heal not only my broken daughters, but who understood and loved me. I needed to see God as having a mother's heart, to be a mother to my girls and to me, and in her grace, she is. I hope to see, before I get old, girls and young women in public worship being able to fully image themselves as God's image bearers, because worship will no longer be gender bound. During that time, we moved into Beaver Creek Housing Co-op, just down Behringer Road, and we gradually started coming here. Gradually, my loyalty to this congregation has grown, and I'm beginning to think that God's next gift to me is the Ritter process we've been going through. I begin to understand that personal transformation, personal spiritual transformation, is at the heart of church and social transformation. I'm really grateful for this new gift, even if I don't fully understand it yet. But I've hit a point in my life when I'm looking for new challenges, and I'm not sure yet what they will be. Personally, I hope for greater joy, greater serenity, greater understanding of and love for other people. I hope for the freedom, as my family no longer needs me as much, to take greater risks in following Christ. And I hope for more laughter, always more laughter.